Welcome back, Red Door investors. Here we are. We are about to jump into January 2025 market reports as well as market updates. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of changes that are happening this month. We've got everything from your sales data from individual single family homes to your apartments to your townhomes. And we have the same data on the rental side. Everything separated from active homes, single family, active apartments, as well as active townhomes. So you're not going to want to miss a second of this. But before we get into all that amazing data, we are first going to go over the market updates that are happening around the Indianapolis metro area so that you can stay informed on specific markets that maybe you want to pay attention to for your next real estate investment. So, Mike, if you're ready, thanks for joining me today. Let's jump into this. What do you got first for the market update?
Yeah, let's do it. So I got a couple things I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about Fishers. To me, Fishers is like, I just keep hearing more and more about Fishers. You feel like it's kind of like a built out community, but I got 3 articles here I want to talk about. One, just real quick, but they're adding a second target in Fishers. Not a big deal, but it just goes to show the amount of growth that we are experiencing in Fishers. You kind of feel like it's built out and everything is, going towards McCordsville and Fortville and all the other areas, but there's still development, a lot of it happening in the Fishers area. So that is one thing that's going to be up near Hamilton Town Center, which is cool. The other thing is also in that area, and this is a big thing. This is the Fishers Event Center, which has just come on my radar here over the last month or two. We have a pro volleyball team now. That is so cool up in the Fishers Event Center. And they are now adding even more restaurants. They're just developing that area even more and more. So that is exciting. If you don't know, the Fishers Event Center is a 7,500 seat, basically stadium, right? Like an arena. And they play hockey and volleyball there. I don't know what else they do there. I haven't been there yet.
So it's a multi-use facility for sure. In fact, I just learned yesterday that we have a local volleyball team. Let's go. But let me go back though. The first thing you said that the new Target in Fishers is not a big deal. I don't know who you think you are. Target being a new Target being erected just down the street is incredible. I just can't tell my wife about it because I may never see her again. All right.
Right.
No, that's awesome. I think it's being built just off of East 136th Street, if I'm not mistaken.
The Target?
I just pulled that from memory. But the leadership in Fishers has continued to just encourage growth, so much expansion. I'm like, how much more can they squeeze into Fishers? Right. I'm not sure. But I thought that was awesome. And then the Fishers Event Center. So my son and I, we just recently attended one of the Indy Fuel games there, the local hockey team. And it was my first experience there at the event center. It's awesome. It's a little mini stadium. We'll post a few pictures so that you guys can get an idea of what it currently looks like. But it's a mini stadium that's huge graphic screen on the outside. So you'd think you were walking up to Lucas Oil Stadium. But it's like, again, it's like this mini little thing. But plus it's, it's all fresh and brand new. So it's all spotless and clean inside. But it's really, really awesome. I think that's going to drive so much. And it's also packed right in there where they got the IKEA and they have the golf place there. Yep. So there's so much to do that is going to continue to grow the Fishers area. I mean, it's exciting for me because it's only 20 minutes down the road and we can enjoy, a real awesome, engaging sporting event. So super excited about that.
Yeah.
But the Target though, I'm really excited to go and get me some new plush pillows anytime I want, just on a whim. I'm looking forward to it.
I did not expect that out of you, Chris. I did not expect you to be a throw pillow guy.
Yeah, well, it's my lower back. You got to have the right one. You got to. So that's what's going on at Fishers. What else we got?
The other one is, talk about leadership in Fishers. So this one is, and this affects our investors directly. So this is just kind of an idea that they're talking about, but the mayor of Fishers is putting out a proposal to limit the amount of single family rentals to a total of 10%.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a radical thing, at least for the local area. I think there's only a couple of communities nationwide that have done it, but this is definitely something that we want to talk about because it could have an impact on our investors. Could have an impact on if you're thinking about purchasing a home in Fishers. So there was another article in the Indy Star, which, I mean, if I don't say so myself, we did get interviewed for. Got quoted
Absolutely.
in the Indy Star article about the single family rentals.
That's right. Indy
Um,
Star recognized that they needed to talk to the most prestigious management company here in the Indianapolis
obviously,
area, so they gave us a call. Yeah.
obviously, no, but there is kind of like this growing trend of what that article was about, and what this is about too, is that there's these big 5 or 7 companies like Progress Residential, a couple other ones who own. They're these major corporations who own a ton of homes, and so I think that's where this is coming from. But anyway, it's translated into a proposal of limiting all single family homes, all single family rental homes in Fishers to a max of 10%. Now it's just talk right now; it's not going into law or anything like that, but it is getting kicked around. And so I just wanted to bring it up here and just talk about it, and just make our investors aware of it, because it
Yeah.
could, I mean, you could argue that it actually could have a positive impact if you are able to get one of those and are able to um, have a rental in Fishers. If they're going to cap that at 10%,
Limit your competition.
I mean, you're driving your inventory down, right?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you
So
will limit your competition. But yeah, I think it's important to discuss this. I mean, when the word inflation became such a hot buzzword, you still have anyone who considers themselves a real estate investor or wants to foresee themselves as a future real estate investor is jumping into rental homes, and sometimes that being the case, your individual landlords don't always take the best care of properties, and that's something that I think Fishers is trying to resolve. And even these major companies that you were talking about, they don't always have as much oversight over individual properties as they should, and sometimes they can become a little bit dilapidated, and so they're wanting to keep that from happening. Even that speaks to the reason why, if you're an out of state landlord, even if you have one property, the importance of having a local property management company that can make sure that your property stays upkept and attractive and appealing.
yeah,
So
I think too, the other part of it is it's this tight inventory that we have and that we have had for a long time. And a lot of people want to blame rentals, and they say, oh, investors are buying up all the homes, and now somebody who wants to buy a home can't buy a home. So this may go away if we see a trend towards a buyer's market. This may go away, but it's definitely worth something talking about, because it's a big deal. So I would argue, honestly, it's probably, if you own a home in Fishers and it's a rental, it's only going to do better for you, because you're going to be grandfathered in. So you're not actually going to be subject to that 10%. And then, like I said, your inventory in Fishers is going to go down. So, I mean, in a certain way, it's kind of a good regard if you already have a home in Fishers. If you're thinking about it in the future, maybe not. But if you have an existing one, might be a good thing for you.
yeah, so if you're thinking about it, you might want to get into the Fishers market quick.
Yep. Yep. And like we talked about, I think the west side, the older side of Fishers, is a right place to pick up a rental right now, because they're doing a ton of development there as well, kind of like redevelopment, really. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I got two. We always talk about Westfield, right? Because there's always so much going on in Westfield, and there still is going on in Westfield. So I have two that I just want to touch on. One of them is, a couple months back, we talked about that Grand Universe is what it's called. It's like a $1 billion, like uh, it's like a space and science education center is what it is. And so we just mentioned it briefly. Didn't want to talk about it too much, because there is a lot of talk about things that could happen. But this is moving forward. It's going forward, and so I don't think it's 100% approved yet, but it is moving in that direction, and that's huge, man. $1 billion development in Westfield. So just wanted to mention that is more and more development, more and more progress, more and more investment dollars going into Westfield.
Yeah,
Other thing,
go ahead.
in Westfield, which is
Yeah,
huge, is have you heard of this thing, the Grand Park District? Have you heard of that?
yeah. I just read about it just a few days ago.
So I think it's going to kind of be like that Fishers Event Center is what they're trying to do, because they're saying it's a 10,000 seat stadium, a sports technology incubator space, and a park lined with attractions, housing, office facilities, restaurants, and hotels, according to a master plan unveiled by the city on Monday. It would be 152 acres just south of 186th Street, which, how much more stuff can they get in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it would have 8 million square feet of development, 4,000 residential units. There would be 7,000 parking spaces. I don't know, just a massive thing. So that, again, that's just talk right now, but it just goes to show, like, the scale and
yeah,
what
yeah.
the future that they're looking to do in Westfield.
Yeah, Grand Park is such a major driver for the Westfield area. I think it's been so great for that community, so great for families. And I know a tremendous amount of our investors have invested in condos and townhomes in those areas where in the short term here it's become a bit saturated. Well, this is great news for you. So over the long term, your appreciation play is all but secured.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be amazing. Not only that, in addition to their updates for the Grand Park area. Westfield has talked recently about wanting to get into a town center, like a lot of these other suburban areas have. So there's going to be right along Grand Park. They're going to continue to build up a town center, which means restaurants, employment opportunities. So I think Westfield, honestly, I know some of the numbers as we go over the market reports haven't been shiny and neat for a new
Yeah.
investor, but I think the future is super bright for the Westfield
Yeah,
market.
it just goes to show you the quality of the community that they're building up there. I mean, yes, we've talked
Exactly.
about it and we'll see it this month. The days on the market is atrocious right now. It's probably not a great time to buy a house in Westfield, honestly, right now. I wouldn't be putting my new dollars there, but if you have it there, and or if you have a longer time horizon, it's still a great community, and that's why
Yeah.
we continue to highlight it.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Cool. I
Yeah.
got two more, Chris, if you don't mind. And actually, they're both developments. There's just so much going on here right now. And you know what? We didn't even talk about. I think we've mentioned it before, but Zillow came out and named Indianapolis the number 2 hottest market in the U.S. Correct?
That's right. That's right. I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think that's up from number five. Weren't we number five just a few months
Maybe,
ago? Yeah, I
maybe.
believe that's right. I believe that's right. Yeah. Number two. We're moving up.
Anyway, bonus material. We didn't even talk about that, but we forgot to mention it. But I mean, that's got to be what's fueling some of this stuff. There's that demand, you know what I mean, both locally and nationally. So here's another development that they announced in Noblesville. This is coming from Henke Development, which is the people who do a lot of high end golf communities. So they did Bridgewater Club in Westfield. They did Chatham Hills up in Noblesville. They're doing I forget the name of it, but the big development there in Lebanon. They're doing one in Plainfield, and now they're announcing another one here in Noblesville. And so this is going to be 1,100 acres. It's going to be kind of like mixed use, housing, shops, restaurants, recreational amenities. It's going to be at 146th and Oleo, and a total of about 2,400 homes. And it's going to be a golf cart community. And so this is, probably not something our investors would look to purchase necessarily. But again, it just goes to show the quality of Noblesville. If you have an investment home in Noblesville, it's probably not going to be this one, but this only raises your prices and only secures the appreciation play in Noblesville. And just goes to show that there is still a ton of demand for housing in Noblesville.
Yeah, yeah. Noblesville is always one of those areas that I always tout. It's a great market to get into, and you know what? It doesn't shock me now that the target you referred to earlier is on 136th, and now the
Yep.
community you just spoke of is on 146. So they were probably like, "Oh, Target's going in there. Let's
Yeah.
get a community up pronto."
You're right. I mean, they are different. One's in Noblesville, one's in Fishers, but they're
Yeah.
super
Oh yeah,
close, right? I mean,
yeah. They're super close.
probably a couple miles away from each other. So
Yeah.
yeah, that whole area is really developing, and that honestly that just bleeds into your area, McCordsville, Fortville. It just bleeds into all of them, and then ultimately into Anderson, like we've been talking about. So it just, I don't know, just keeps creeping north.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
one last one, and it's another development, but they're planning another development, a 262-acre development in the north side of Whitestown, which we've been talking a lot about Lebanon, and I think this is just bleed over from just the craziness that's happening in Lebanon. So this is they want to build Beckman Park on agricultural land on South County Road 650. It's going to be public park. It's going to be again like a mixed use development. So again, just more development pushing out west and up north into the kind of that corridor up there that I keep talking about with the Whitestown and Lebanon. There's just so much activity going out there as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. We're going to have to focus on market updates on the south side of Indianapolis next month because we've definitely covered the north side.
Yeah.
That's so much money being poured into the local community. It's no wonder Indianapolis was touted number 2 by Zillow. So, and I'm talking to new investors all the time who are reading articles just like we are.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just driving them here in droves.
Yep. I love it. Well, that's all I've got for kind of market updates. I'm really excited to jump into our new market reports. We got a new layout. We got some new stats. I'm really excited to unveil this.
I can't wait. I know we're going to fumble through a lot of it today, but I know that it's tremendously valuable information specifically to new investors. Well, I mean, also just as much so really too if you own a property in these areas.
Sure.
But if you're a new investor looking to get into the Indianapolis metro area, this is going to be extremely valuable content that you're going to want to check out, which you can find on all of our social media channels. And if you are new to the market, reach out. We'll be happy to assist you in building a team. We have all the connections necessary, whether it be on the lending side, on the real estate side, whether you're looking for someone who can help navigate and scout a potential investment opportunity here in the area. Happy to help put those connections together or assist you in doing so that you can build a strong portfolio here in the Indianapolis metro area. So be sure to check out our market reports, check out all the content we're producing on a monthly basis.